Well, our next guest is bullish on the Asia-Pacific region. The MSCI Asia-Pacific ex-Japan Index outperformed the S&P 500 in the last year by about 5%. Now, is the region poised to do that again? The big question. Well, Muirhead is head of Asia-Pacific ex-Japan investment for Nomura Asset Management. He manages $2.5 billion in assets in that region. Well, Graham is based in Singapore, but joins us now from Nomura's New York offices. And I would say bad timing given the weather, Graham, but we've just had a bad winter, so welcome to New York. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Let's turn right away, because I think this is the question everyone is asking these days. How is the turmoil in Egypt impacting what is happening in the Asia-Pacific region, if not directly at the moment, indirectly and in the future?
No, you're right. Not directly so much, but we are seeing investors a little bit nervous about the emerging markets, and because of what's happened in Tunisia and Egypt, and taking some money out. And of course, Asia represents about 55% of an emerging market benchmark. So if money is taken out of emerging market funds, they will sell Asia. Of course, as well, the issues in the Middle East are causing oil prices to rise, and all countries in Asia except Malaysia and Indonesia are oil importers. So at the margin, economies could be impacted a little bit.
Well, let me ask you about the potential. Let's move to inflation, entirely different topic at the moment. That's definitely something that we are seeing sort of across the region as a whole. India, I mean, China maybe not quite as high, but certainly a number of countries seeing their rates of inflation spiking, hitting the double digits. How is that impacting your investment view there? I know you're not quite as bullish as you were last year, but you do still like this region.
Yes, in the long term, we certainly do like it. And inflation, rising inflation is not an ambiguous negative. One of the issues we saw in Egypt and Tunisia was the imbalance of income between the poor and the rich. Now in Asia, it tends to be the lower income people tend to be the rural people. And of course, rising food prices helps their income. So that's a positive. Also, Asian governments, to try and slow down the rise in prices, allow their currencies to appreciate. And as we know, most Asian currencies are undervalued. So rising currencies will be obviously positive for US investors and the Nomura Asset Management's funds.
Now, I'm going to interrupt here, Graham. I just want to get to the countries very quickly. We don't have too much more time, but your top holdings are, in terms of regionally, are Australia, Korea, China, India. Tell me a little bit about the investment thesis there. I mean, Korea, a country that is struggling with inflation, the latest numbers above the inflation target set by the government.
Yes, well, we have actually been adding to Korea. Yes, inflation is slightly above the government's target, but it's still not a particularly serious issue as yet. What we like about Korea is some of the two largest conglomerates. They represent almost all of our Korean investments, and these Korean companies have been regaining market share by offering competitive, low-cost products. Now, of course, that didn't used to be profitable business, but now they've got their market share up. We're seeing profitability rising, and these stocks are very cheap in our view.
All right, Graham, thank you so much for joining us. Safe travels back to Singapore. Love to have you back on the show.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Graham Muirhead of Nomura Asset Management. Well,